Deja de llorar, perdidor. Hoy es una gran fiesta. Cinco de Mayo. Yipa.
Can I get a oh hell yeah?
From everybody in attendance, this is the podcast Stop Crying Poser. We do this podcast every single Friday right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 3:36, which means we're pretty much on time. Shout out to
Hell yeah, 666.
North Shooter, Mr. Jesus, Dirt Bike Boy,
Late bloomer, North Shooter, and Infamy 14. What?
Plenty of topics to talk about today. A lot of quick ones. I know usually I come on this podcast and say, oh, we don't have much to talk about, but we're going to try. Today we actually do have quite a bit to talk about. It's been an eventful week. I'm wearing this belly brace right now because my back is pretty badly injured. I hurt it on Tuesday. Didn't even fall off my skateboard. Landed my two tricks, which came out today. A fakie nose slide big spin and then nollie 50-50. And then I was going to do some stalls. I rolled up to do some stalls and my back was like, nah, dog, you can't bend down anymore. I can't bend down and I can't bend up. So it's one of those things that happens to me usually once a year. And it usually only happens if I try to skate 2 or 3 days in a row, which on Tuesday, that was not the case. I did my morning stretches when I know I'm going to skate, wiggle my hips around, stretch out my legs. I get to the skate park. I have plenty of energy. I'm feeling good. And by the end of the session, can't walk. Kind of, I wouldn't say ruined my whole week, but it's made my week a lot more difficult. Like, for example, I go grocery shopping yesterday, and usually I get the big, giant, like, package of water, 40 water bottles, because I'm big and strong. But my little baby bitch pussy back wouldn't be able to lift that shit up. So yesterday I had to get the little pack of only 24 water bottles. What am I going to do with 24 water bottles? You know how much water I drink in a day? Enough. Enough to survive. It's been a really eventful week, and we're not going to do any trivia today because I'm running low on stickers, but I have reordered stickers. Those should be here in about 10 days, so maybe we'll get back to that. As for Cinco de Mayo, curious what you guys are doing, if there's any big parties. We're celebrating when Mexico had its great victory over France. They said, omelette du fromage, I'm so sorry. And then Mexico's like, Sarai, it's alright. And then we started partying. Although I just watched a little 2-minute documentary on Cinco de Mayo. In Mexico, no one cares. No one cares about Cinco de Mayo. But in America, we really care. Basically, anybody who beats France's ass, we make a holiday about them. Which I think is pretty much the most American thing I've ever heard. So, for my Cinco de Mayo, I'm going to my friend Steve O'Hara's house, which doesn't sound like a Mexican name at all. In fact, there might not be any Mexican-born people there at all, but we are going to be partying, drinking tequila. Not me. I'm not a big fan of tequila. I'm going to be drinking Modelo, Pacifico, Tecate, T-Cate, maybe some Corona. Maybe I'll bring some limes. Usually when I go to that house, I make chicken wings, but I don't think, how would you say chicken wings in Spanish? Pollo piernas? Maybe? Something like that. It's going to be a good time. They're going to do a big, like, metal show, and then there's usually a skateboarding pool, like an actual in-the-ground pool for skating. But since it's about to get hot, they fill it up with water. So this will be like the first pool party. Although that's not going to make sense today because it's kind of cold today. It's been windy for 3 days in a row. The weather's actually perfect, but not perfect enough for a pool party. There's also a mini ramp, bonfire. It's going to be a great time. I usually bring my dog, but since they're going to be playing loud music, probably won't bring the dog. So let me go through some of my topics today. On Wednesday, what did I do? We went out to eat. Oh yeah, there's a new bar by my house that allows dogs. So usually I have to drive kind of far to get to the bar that has dog friendly like area. Now there's one right by my house. So I go down there. It's too windy. The dog doesn't like the wind. We leave. We watch Golden Knights. After that, we say, hey, what do you guys want to do? Half of the squad goes home. The other half goes to another bar. I know all my stories are about the bar. I know I'm a real bar fly. I'm a real social butterfly. So anyways, we go there and I get out the car and this guy's like, hey man, can you help me? I'm like, maybe. Like, I thought he's gonna have me jump his car, and I'm like, no, I don't want to help anyone ever again in my life. They say no good deed goes unpunished. So anyways, I'm like, yeah, what do you need, bro? Like, what can I help you? He goes, I dropped my keys in between my seat, and my hands are too big. I said, oh, perfect. I got small hands. My hands are pretty small. I can reach down there and get them. And he goes, oh, man, thank you. That'd be great. I look under his seat. It's dirty. Bunch of, like, change and chips and shit getting on my hand. I'm reaching around. I'm like, dude, there's no keys down there. And he's like, no, there is. It's under the track. And I'm like, okay. I reach under there. I reach under the track. No fucking keys at all. So then I say, you know what, bro? I carry wire in my car. I'll go cut you off a piece of wire. We'll shape the wire into a hook, and we'll scrape the bottom of your I don't know, your track. Scrape the bottom of that fucking track. No keys, nowhere. They don't exist. There are no keys in that fucking car. And the guy kept freaking out. He kept saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I can't find these keys. Oh my God. And I kept saying, relax, dude. We'll get your keys. Don't worry about it. Oh God, oh God, oh my God. I'm like, listen, you don't need to freak out. He's like sweating and shit. Like, you don't need to freak out. Here, you keep the wire. You try and do this. I'm gonna go get a beer. I'll come back out later and help you. I go in there to grab a beer. I see my friend Devontae. I say hi to the bartender. I see this chick Heidi. I'm like, what's up, guys? And then I'm like, they're like, I thought you were gonna be here like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, yeah, I was helping some guy with his keys. And this fool Devontae goes, man, he's been out there for an hour. There are no keys. I'm like, what? And then I thought about it, and that guy seemed like he was definitely on drugs. But then I went back out there to grab my phone charger from the car, and he was gone. So there must have been keys. It would be a funny story, but an unfortunate story if the entire time the keys are in his pocket. You're telling me I put my hands on old ass Cheetos and old change for nothing. Wasted my time. You know what else was a big waste of time this weekend? Street League. Some of you guys may not be skateboarders, so I'll explain to you what Street League is. Street League is X Games. It's not really X Games, but it's the exact same idea. Skateboarders all skate together. They try and do it like Olympic scoring, and it just fails miserably. The new thing that people do with Street League that I came up with years and years and years ago, by the way, all these trends in like current like YouTube social media skateboarding, I did all of them already. So Street League like 2006, I was commentating it live on Ustream. Nowadays, that's the thing people do. They go on Twitch, they watch Street League, and they comment over it instead of the commentators. Don't worry, guys. I already did this shit. So I'm watching Street League on a couple of different skating channels, and I'm reading through the chat room. People who watch skateboarding are so dumb. I know a lot of people hear me talk about skateboarding, and they say, oh, Ninja Lifestyle, he's full of himself. He thinks he knows everything. First off, I don't want to hear any opinion about how hard a crooked grind is from some kid who's never done one. The last thing I need to do is get lectured about a crooked grind from some kid who can't do it. Now, I'm not saying you have to be able to do these tricks to understand them. I'm just saying for you to tell me that I'm wrong, the guy that's been doing this trick for 22 years, I'm wrong about how hard it is to do this basic ass trick that I learned, I don't know, 9 months into skateboarding. I've been doing it for decades, and some kid who's never done a crooked grind is going to tell me how many points it should be worth in Street League. So I'll back up a second. This guy, Curran Caples, did a crooked bonk. He crooked grinded 1 inch of this tiny rail, tiny flat bar, not a giant 20 stair. Mind you, there was a giant 20 stair there, and people were kickflipping into their crooks on these giant rails. He did a crooked grind on arguably the smallest rail in the entire park. But since the trick was kind of creative, since no one else had tried that trick yet, also he was in pretty much dead last place, he got a really high score. And everyone, like a lot of people online, agree with it. Well, here's the great divide. Everyone who can do a crooked grind doesn't agree with this stupid scoring. Every dumb fucking kid who cannot do real skating tricks but plays with fingerboards and plays skating games on their PC, of course, they think it's a really great trick. Cool. Also, it's weird that it goes both ways too. There was one guy named Jagger or something. I don't remember who it was. Somebody did a back lip, right? Just a back lip on a rail and they popped out. Like, imagine a square handicap rail, you back lip it and you pop out. You know, that same trick you see in every skate video. Jerry Sue does it switch all the time. Doesn't ever get acknowledged for it. You know, all the guys in warm-ups were doing that exact same trick. Super easy trick. Oh, you know, that trick that half the people in the contest could probably kickflip into? Okay, cool. This guy did a back lip, super boring, shitty trick that anyone can do. And they gave him like a 6. And then here's where you know people believe anything. They put the camera on him, and he puts his thumbs down. He goes, "Boo the judges." And then he starts like hyping the crowd up and going, "Boo the judges. Boo the judges." Jagger Eden, thank you. Here's what everybody did. At first they went, "Man, that back lip sucked." And then as soon as a pro skateboarder told them how to think and told them how to act, everyone was like, "Oh, that back lip was boring. Wait a minute. He's telling us it's good. Never mind. It's the greatest back lip I've ever seen. Oh my God. If the pro skater says his own trick is good, then it must be good. Yay." It's an everyday thing about, like, if Thrasher says something's cool, it's cool. If Thrasher says something's lame, it's lame. If you're on Street League and you think a trick's lame, but then the skater looks at you and goes, "Nuh-uh, it's good, you should cheer." Skateboarders go, I should. Oh, amazing. Their minds are like, it's like, their minds are just so malleable, right? I used to do this thing where I could predict anything these skateboarders would do on YouTube. I would make a video, and then in the description I would write, "I bet people are going to comment this," and it would be this thing. It's like, if I make a video of me snapping a skateboard, I already know that skateboarders are going to react a certain way. They're going to go, "Well, I could have used that skateboard," because I know that you're all fucking pussies, right? Now, if I were to then become a pro, if I was on Thrasher and I said, because I broke this skateboard, I'm now giving one to charity, people would go, "Oh my God, he's so brave. He's so brave. They're going to make watches out of his skateboard. They're going to make popsicle sticks out of his skateboard. He's going to save the entire country of Chile with his broken skateboard. What a brave soul." They will believe anything. So you tell these kids that a crook bonk is worth 9. I read a comment today. Here's the best part. I read a comment today that was a guaranteed lie. Someone said, "First off, I know a crooked grind is easy, but you got to understand, when you do it going slow, the board becomes hard to catch if you're falling like a long distance down. So when I do a crook bonk, I have to go fast, because going fast makes the skateboard stick to your feet better." I read that comment. I said, "Nope, never skated. Fake news. Fake news. You've never skated. Fake news." I went full Donald Trump on his ass. That's not a thing that anyone who's ever done this trick would ever say out loud. Oh, man. Everyone's playing pretend. It's pretend I skateboard day. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Last night on Twitch, I made some spicy garlic noodles. I made them from a YouTube recipe. A lot of people, especially here on Twitch, have been saying, "Do more cooking with Ninja." And I think what you guys mean is to make more cooking YouTube videos. But those videos aren't that fun to make. In fact, streaming cooking is also not that fun, but it is a little bit more entertaining when you guys see me fuck up or you see the dish not quite work, and then we do some magical techniques, and then suddenly the dish comes out good. Also, you guys get to see like how poor I am at planning things out. I'm like, okay, what's a tablespoon? I don't know. Well, let's measure carefully. So we do all that. We get it going. I get the garlic noodles going. I get the noodles popping. It said 5 cloves of garlic. Fuck you, bitch. I'm doing 7. Oh, it said only 1 serrano pepper. I'm doing 3. I'm adding ghost pepper flakes, trying to show off for the stream. And then I eat the food, which was really great. The only thing I fucked up is I undercooked the noodles a little bit. I cooked the food, and bro, I start sweating, stomach starts hurting. I'm like, oh my God, I put too much spices in it, put too much gochujang, Korean ground up chili flakes with the serranos, 2, 3 serranos, with the ghost pepper flakes, with the regular red pepper flakes. Boom, eat those. Having a stomach attack. Liquid gang this morning. It's not chlamydia, but I pissed this morning. My pee-pee was burning. My pee-pee was burning from this hot ass spicy food. But the nice thing is it's a really simple recipe, and I'm gonna make it all the time now. Also, something about these Asian ingredients, you buy them once and then you never use them ever again. Thank God the dish came out good. You guys remember I tried to make authentic ramen one time, and I got to the very last ingredient, and I was supposed to use unsweetened soy milk, and I used regular soy milk, and I ruined the entire fucking dish, blew it, and I said, you know what? Never again, Asians. Build a wall between here and Asia. I'm not fucking dealing with this food no more. But I gave it a chance again yesterday, and I'm pretty hyped. Pretty hyped on how the food turned out. If you guys want that recipe, you guys can check it out in my Discord. I do have a Discord. Interesting story about the deepness of my psyche. I had a dream the other day, probably off of melatonin, because I've been having trouble sleeping lately. I had a dream the other day that was my first meaningful dream in a while. I had this dream that I feel like meant something. I don't know why. So in the dream, I don't remember all the details. I think my ex-girlfriend contacted me, and she was in some sort of danger. And then she contacted me on like some social media, and then I didn't have that social media anymore. She was in danger. So she's like, okay, I'm in danger. All you have to do is unblock my phone number. She says, all you have to do is unblock my phone number, and then you can help me get out of this danger. And I'm like, okay, like in my dream, I would never do this in real life. In my dream, I was like, okay, I'll unblock your number. I look at my phone. It's my actual iPhone. There's no settings. So to unblock someone, you go to settings and then contacts and then unblock. I look at my phone. It has in this dream, still in the dream, my phone has all the little buttons except for settings. So I'm like, no settings. I can't unblock you. And then I get on Google and I search and I say how to unblock, and it goes use settings. And then it has a picture of the phone. And it's like, like accessibility, display, settings. And I look at my phone, it's like accessibility, display, no settings. And I'm just like, wait a minute. And then I Google, I'm like, my settings button is missing. Like the whole dream is me trying to figure out like what's going on with my phone. And then I don't remember if there was like a fun ending or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what? The dream is telling me that bitch needs to remain blocked forever, because only negativity comes from negative people. I don't know why that was on my mind. I don't know why that became a dream. Then again, I'd be dreaming about some bullshit too. So it's not like I've been thinking about that. But it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, dude? I think I know the meaning of this one. I'm not a dream of me drowning or falling off a building or fucking killing someone. No. This is a dream about not unblocking people that only want to hold you back. Right. So that was cool. I think on the same night that I had that dream, my dog sat on my bed. He faced his butt towards me and said, And I always say, oh, Koopa, you're a farty boy today. You're my little farter boy. Why are you farting so much? And he looks at me and he's like, I don't know about this one, man. And I smell it and I'm like, ew, stinky boy. And then 5 minutes goes by and I'm like, ew, still a stinky boy? 5 minutes? Still? You're still stinking? And then he gets up and runs away. And I'm like, wait a minute. It still stinks. This motherfucker left me a little chocolate kiss. He left me a little squirty, one little drop on top of the ice cream, and I should have known because he shaped his tail the wrong way. Usually his tail is shaped like this. So if he was to do it would land on his tail. This time he had his tail like this. So the poop came out, didn't even touch his tail. So that's cool. 3:30 in the morning, I'm cleaning shit off of my bed. He doesn't get in trouble though. I can't be like, hey dude, you know what? It's happened to us all. Let he who has never in their pantalones throw the first stone. So I just put him outside, gave him a treat, washed it off. I still haven't washed the entire sheets yet, so I just been sleeping with the shit. I've been sleeping in the shit. I am a piece of shit. I'm becoming the shit. So I gotta wash that. Maybe I'll do that after the podcast. That'll be fine though. I have backup sheets. Also, it's summertime. I barely sleep in the sheets anyways. The summertime. So here's what I do. I have a really thin sheet. Then I have like a centimeter thick sheet of like fleece, right? And then I have my big comforter. Big comforter only comes out in wintertime when I'm trying not to use the AC so much, or the heater, I mean, because it costs a lot of money. And then in summertime, there's one thin ass sheet. Just now you could see through it. You can almost see through it. Basically, what do they wrap like dumplings in? That's I'm the dumpling. I'm your little dumpling in the summertime, so it doesn't matter. I just threw that pink sheet on the ground with the doo-doo on it. We'll worry about that another day. Let's talk about what movies I've seen. Wow, those topics went by really quickly. I thought we would get to the whole 45 minutes. We're probably going to cash out around 30 minutes today. Let's talk about what movies I've been watching. Just this morning, I finished a movie called I Used to Be Famous. It's about a guy who was in a boy band. It's kind of a kid's movie. I don't know why Netflix thinks I'm a kid. But everything I watch is fucking kids movies now. It didn't look like a kid's movie. It looked like a guy was addicted to meth. The main star has like this sucked in face. Like he's got this model jawline, but he looks like he's been doing meth for 20 years. So I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, cool. A movie about this guy in a boy band who got addicted to meth. And then he tries to like make music again. Okay, cool. Clicked it. No, it's a Disney movie. God damn it. It's basically a Disney movie about some guy that used to be in a boy band, and then he meets an autistic kid, and they form a band, and everyone speaks like in this English accent, like everyone's calling each other bruv. Oh, you banging, bruv. Oh, you banging. Oh, that song was banging, bruv. Okay, halfway through, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be terrible. So it's a feel-good movie. Dialogue's terrible. Writing's terrible. The whole movie's not good. I'd be interested to see what it has on Rotten Tomatoes, but if you come across that movie, unless you're like 13 years old, don't watch the movie I Used to Be Famous. Now, I also watched season 2 of a series called Sweet Tooth. Again, a show made for children. I figured it out because twice in the movie, somebody was about to say, "What the fuck?" And they said, "What the fuck?" And then they got run over or something. Like every time somebody was gonna say the F word, they got like exploded or run over, or like a car would go by and honk. What the like SpongeBob saying bad words. So that was my first dead giveaway. My second dead giveaway is the whole fucking show is about some kid with antlers. Some real little kid who has antlers coming out of his fucking ears because he's half deer, half boy. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he meets a chick who's half pig, half human. And I'm like, oh my God. What? I thought this was a movie about war. I thought it was a movie about like war and death and disease. Turns out it's a movie about some fucking kid who's halfway made out of a deer. Oh, you know what I hate? Especially with these kids movies. When you get two guys, right, in a movie, and they're each like 250 pounds, just straight monsters, right? Thor, these giant guys, and then you get an 8-year-old with a slingshot comes out and defeats them, and you're like, wait a minute. I know this is a fantasy story, but I don't like the idea that this kid just came out, this malnourished fucking kid, 9 years old, he weighs 40 pounds, just outpunched a 250-pound professional military boxer with a gun in his hand, and the kid beat him with a fucking squid stuffed animal. He squeaked at him, and the guy went, "Oh, it's the squeaking. It's always some like, oh, my only weakness, something totally harmless." Oh man. Or like when the kid like outsmarts them. Like, I get it. Like Home Alone was cool because Macaulay Culkin is a little kid, and he outsmarts all the bad guys, making them fall down the ice, shoots them with fire, burns their hand off, hits them with rocks and hammers and shit. Okay, I get that. Because you're against two fucking idiots. You can't do that with like The Rock and Sylvester Stallone and fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to kidnap you. The movie wouldn't make any sense, right? That's my thoughts. If you have a child under the age of 13, you could probably watch Sweet Tooth with them, and you'd probably have a good time. So for everyone out there, I know there's a lot of parents here in the chat. Sweet Tooth, good show for kids that you may enjoy, because there is some good shooting scenes. My final thing that I watched this week is called Maniac, and it's what's the guy from Superbad? Jonah Hill. It's Jonah Hill and the chick from Superbad, weirdly, and they both go in for some scientific trial to fix their trauma, right? They each have some sort of trauma. Think about like digital therapy. So they go into this digital therapy testing thing, and the computer's like trying to fix their trauma, and then the computer like gets a virus, and then all hell breaks loose, god damn it. Then everything gets all fucking weird, and then the computer's mad, and some guy's fucking a robot, and then who knows what's happening. I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. I watched 4 episodes. I said, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand any of this. And then I finally watched 2 more episodes, and I was like, oh, they're telling the story out of order. They're being sneaky. Okay, now I understand. So I would say if you like sci-fi shit like that, like robotic bullshit, like futuristic type shit, or if you like any type of self-help, like therapy style movies, I would definitely recommend you guys check out Maniac on Netflix. That's all I got, guys. My back is pretty badly injured, but what I will be doing for the rest of the day, I'm gonna walk the dog. I just had a really big breakfast / lunch, so I'll probably eat over there for Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully they have guacamole, my favorite side, chips and guac. Oh boy! Or if they have tacos, I will actually I'll hit the nut button. I'll hit the nut button. Give them some nut butter on Cinco de Mayo. Give them the. One of my buddies posted, they said, Happy Cinco de Mayo, and then he just had a jar of mayonnaise. Because it's mayo. Cinco de Mayo. Ha ha ha, you're so funny. Better than these fucking nerds that say, May the 4th be with you. My God, every time I hear that, I just want to go, May the 4th be with me. So not only are you a nerd, you're ruining this really fun holiday coming tomorrow, but you're going to fuck it up today with your dumb little Star Wars jokes? Fuck you. Anyways, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Can I get a hell yeah from everybody who is hanging out here in the chat? Everyone who lasted the entire 30 minutes. I appreciate all of you guys. We do this podcast every single Friday right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. I noticed in the chat room that a lot of you guys showed up late because you thought I was going to be late. Well, not to worry. You can always watch a repeat of the podcast on Podbean, on YouTube, on iTunes, on Spotify. And the repeat always comes out on Sundays, early in the morning. Shout out to Day, Grog, Sharky, Genie, iBookBoy UK, Mr. Jesus, Infamy, Day,
Hi, book boy.
Also, thank you to Mr. Jesus for the resubscribe today, and iBookBoy for also resubscribing. I appreciate you guys hanging out, sending your money and whatnot. Everyone should be ashamed if you didn't send money, but don't worry. If you want to support without sending any money, it's easy. All you have to do is tell a friend about the podcast. Maybe a coworker, maybe a brother, family member, a stepbrother. Stepbrother, when you're done fucking me, check out this podcast. It's called Stop Crying Poser. It's really funny.
Okay.
Just tell a friend. Look at this. We got nobody watching today. I'm pretty entertaining, right? 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 Anyways, hope you guys have a great weekend. And that's all I got for you now. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to continue streaming, but the official podcast is done. So, as I always say, don't drink too much and don't drink too little. There were no keys. No keys ever existed.